Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Visit squarespace.com/BrendanVanson for more details. What's up guys, I'm on the bridge of the Polar Pioneer here, north of Spitsbergen, Svalbard, and we've just crossed the 80-degree latitude, which is definitely the farthest north I've ever been. Super exciting. And actually, we just did a polar plunge as well.
Gotta make sure I have no money in my pocket. Jump from there. Back split. Come on. Woo! Let's go.
You forgot your hair toss.
No hair toss.
How was it?
So the farthest north I've ever swam. Now we're heading south. We're gonna see what we see today. Woo, okay. So, polar plunge was cold and the weather's kind of come in. It's a little bit snowy, but we're at this insanely beautiful glacier that's just, in fact, it's probably two glaciers. It just looks absolutely awesome. There's ice in the water, and so I'm life vested up and we're gonna go cruising. I'm really excited. This looks awesome. Awesome indeed. The landscapes here in Svalbard have been more impressive than I was expecting. And today there's a bit of a mood. Dense clouds shrouding stone pyramids and a dull flaking of snow. The mood makes it a bit of a struggle to find a photo. It's like the images are hiding away within the clouds. But every now and then, they poke themselves out. For the images, I'm definitely focused on keeping it simple and dramatic. I want my images to look the way I feel, cold and freaking small. And no, that's not a naughty joke about the previous polar plunge. Being surrounded by all this pristine ice gave me a coffee-related idea. Iceberg ice is formed off of a glacier. You have a glacier, it snows, the snow packs. The more it snows, the more the snow packs down and the air compresses out of it a bit and it becomes glacier ice. Then that glacier ice flows through the landscape, eventually reaching the end of the glacier, falling off the glacier, becoming an iceberg in the ocean. So we've taken this iceberg out of the ocean, we've chipped off a chunk of it, we've rinsed it to get any salt off of the edge of it, and now we're going to try to make cold brew with glacial ice. We're going to take some of our Costa Rica, and I'm just going to grind right onto it. It's like table salt. I think that this is about 300 grams of glacial ice. So now we've got our concoction, and my theory is hopefully that this will melt. We can't leave it outside, because if we leave it outside it's below zero, it won't melt. We're just gonna leave this in my room for 24 hours and hope that it turns into the most delicious cold brew we've ever drunk. Oh look, belugas! We'll get back to the coffee. Woo, another day in the Arctic. I am loving this, having so much fun here. We're in another beautiful fjord. There's almost like Toblerone-esque mountains all around. There's a little mini glacier off that way. And apparently here, there's another walrus colony. So we're gonna have another landing with walrus. I think the walrus are really cool. I also think the walrus are really hard to photograph. So we'll see how we go. And yeah, we're gonna jump in some Zodiacs and have a bit of an adventure. The moody weather continues to linger. But with wildlife, soft filtered weather like this really helps cast a nice light on the animals. Grumpily, they bounced around as a rescue helicopter flew overhead just loud enough to annoy them. And with so many images of walruses already, I decided to mostly just observe. And that was really special too. But I did capture a couple images. This of the agitated blob, and this of a juvenile male in the waters nearby. There's also this really cool image of the walrus poking up in front of our ship in this epic view. As we boarded the Zodiacs again, we spotted another animal almost impossible to photograph, beluga whales. In fact, this was a pod of about 50. Quiet on set! Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the cold brew has been soaking now for 24 hours. There's little bits of mineral mixed in with the coffee. I checked every 4 hours or so, and it took about 12 hours for the giant chunk of Glacier to thaw. We've got more Iceberg here, and I'm just taking a typical traditional coffee filter, and I'm gonna hope I don't make a massive mess pouring this cold brew through it. Yeah! Coffee sludge. Oh, yes. Oh, it smells amazing. I don't know how I'm gonna do this now. Oh, oh no! Oh no! Gotta get a little bit messy. This is anticlimactic because it's gonna take a while now. It'll need to be big enough that we can pour this into. Maybe the shaker, the martini shaker. Yeah. Okay, this is gonna get messy, but I'm gonna try to now pour the cold brew into the martini shaker. Well done, me, mostly. Can we get a whiskey glass?
Yeah.
That's definitely not a wooden mallet, but we're gonna rinse these little ice cubes to get rid of any salt that might be on it, because it's been sitting in salt water. That was my thumb. Okay, cold brew from an iceberg. Bottoms up. And actually, that's really delicious. It's definitely better than the water that's been on board the ship. No offense to the ship. And now I won't sleep the rest of the night. No joke, this might have been the best coffee of my life. It was so good that some people on board were claiming we need to harvest icebergs and turn it into a business. Of course, I would argue that it's the coffee that I roasted that made it so good, not the iceberg. Anyways, now that we're back to caffeinated, back to exploring. We headed off with Pete, who you should definitely follow on Instagram, by the way, link in the description, towards a massive ice shelf. At the base, we found some of the most incredible blue ice I'd ever seen. In fact, we found this chunk of ice so blue it was almost confusing. We were all doing science in our brains trying to figure out how it could have ended up looking like this. Any guesses? We circled the ice for a while trying to find images. I think it might just be one of those things though. It's hard to capture exactly how cool this thing is. In fact, a lot of Svalbard has been like that. Yeah, it photographs well, but it's been so hard to properly explain in images and video how powerful this place actually is. Okay, I'm back from Svalbard. No matter how long I was there, I couldn't say Svalbard properly and started just end up saying like Spitsbergen. And I'm back in my office and I want to talk about the trip really briefly. But first also, like, look at how messy my office is. And there's going to be a video coming fairly soon with kind of a big life update, but just basically talking about the mess that is my life right now because it's pretty messy. It's probably messier than my office, which, yeah, is crazy. Okay, back to talking about Svalbard. I want to talk about it really briefly because I kind of ended the series or filming the series at the last clips you saw, which was amazing. It was one of the best afternoons of my life. We just had so much fun and the whole trip in general was just incredible. And I feel like when I'm editing the footage from this trip, it doesn't properly convey how epic it is there. It is so powerful there. I think it actually feels like more remote, more isolated, and more wild, and more like the edge of the earth than Antarctica does. I just don't think maybe it comes across on photo and videos as epic as Antarctica does. That being said, experience-wise, I would put them right in the same category. It's that good. I had such an amazing time, and the group of people we had on board were so much fun. We just had such a great time together. We learned together, we laughed together, we had fun, and we made some pretty awesome images as well. I've had a lot of people ask me if there's going to be a Svalbard Part 2, and the answer is yes. We've been working it out with the ship management company, trying to get next year's trip organized as well. And it looks like we're 100% organized. So there's going to be an announcement probably in a couple weeks. And that announcement will first come via my email newsletter. So if you're not signed up for my newsletter, there's a link in the description below that will take you to my website. Sign up for that newsletter if you want to join because Svalbard is amazing. Again, it'll be myself, Tom, Jonas probably, and probably Neil as well. And it should be an incredible trip again. Finding polar bears and walrus and belugas, and maybe we'll make more cold brew. As for this channel, we're heading to Madeira next, and then after the Madeira series, there's going to be this huge life update video that I've been talking about. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Let me tell you quickly about today's sponsor. Squarespace is an amazing place for photographers and bloggers to build a really professional looking website really quickly and easily. It has a lot of templates that make it simple to get started. You have great resources too, like members-only areas. Easy to build stores for selling arts and even services. Of course, there's also lots of other great tools for creators such as a logo maker and in-depth analytics. So if you're looking for a photography website or portfolio, head to squarespace.com/BrendanVanson for a 10% discount on your first purchase. Link in the description.